welcome to QuestJunkiesUK. It's a pleasure to be here with you today, and we are brought to you by the kind support of CZRPG, Phoenix Dice, Trollord Games, and Nathrax 3D Minis. Look out for your chance to win in our fabulous giveaways. Check the session for today's giveaway. And, of course, you can get yourselves a lovely discount over on their homepages using the coupon codes that will pop up in chat. Do not miss this amazing stuff. CZRPG with their beautiful encounter design, maps, a fantastic Patreon for you to join. Phoenix Dice, their incredible, sustainably produced, recycled packaging and everything. The wonderful Click-Clap Math Rocks, do check them out. Trollord Games with their incredible Castles and Crusades original system and lots of D&D content as well. And the beautiful 3D printed and beautifully painted, if you wish, minis of Nathrax 3D Minis. Absolutely wonderful stuff. Please check them out and let them know that the Odyssey sent you. Now, let us also say a huge thank you to the wonderful people over at Syrinscape. Amazing music and sound effects for your games, and just makes the whole experience a completely different level. Check them out, stuff for D&D, Pathfinder, Call of Cthulhu, other game systems, board games, science fiction, fantasy, everything you need. Link in chat for your chance to get a free trial of this amazing product. Now, let's get into the session. To adventure!
Hello, wherever and whenever you are, and welcome back to QuestJunkiesUK. Welcome back to Out of the Abyss, and welcome back to the dwarven citadel of Gauntlgrim in the small chain of mountains that is home to the massive volcano that is Mount Hotanau, up northeast of that famous city Neverwinter. And our adventurers are returning to this hallowed halls, these partially reclaimed halls, as the dwarves have returned after the massive citadel faced great cataclysm and was taken over by all sorts of nasties. But they have taken it back. Drizzt Duerden and his friends, including the dwarf Brunnor, who has stayed on as the new king of Gauntlgrim, along with Jarlaxle as well. I saw Jarlaxle was in the mix at that point. Took back the citadel, and now the dwarven clans have returned and are reclaiming it for themselves. Now, a massive thank you to all of those lovely people in that pre-reel, making the show possible and supporting us with all the wonderful things they do. Do jump in and make use of those fantastic coupons that they've offered up. I know that Phoenix Dice also has a cool Christmas sale going on at the moment. So please do go and check out all of their wonderful dice. I am now the proud owner of Phoenix Dice for my Phoenix D&D. So I'm looking forward to making use of those. Nice Phoenix colours too, kind of like fiery orange and nice motes and stuff on the inside. Yummy, yummy, yummy. Okay, we'll see how they roll. Now, also, one more shout outs to Timely Logo. Oh, just missed it. CZRPG, who is the proud sponsor of our lovely giveaway and wonderful, wonderful person to boot. And they, this week, are giving away their brand new item, their new products just being released, and that is the Great Library, a one-shot or drop-in location for your fantastic campaigns with their awesome encounter design and everything. Do as Turbo has done over there, ! Enter, and you can jump in and hopefully have the chance to win this awesome stuff. Now, that said, also keep an eye out for the Syrinscape shout-out coming around from time to time. Just up there in chat there. Good luck, Dougie. And you can now get all of this awesome music and all the amazing sound effects and things for your games as well by giving the channel some support as well, because we have an affiliate link now for Syrinscape. So if you head on over there and get any sound sets or become a Super Siren subscriber to their service, much appreciated service by D&D players and other games or players around the world, then you can give us a little kickback as well. and see how that works out. So, please do check them out. Awesome stuff. You get as a free trial. Lots of things, not just for D&D, all sorts of other game systems as well. Sci-fi stuff, fantasy stuff. Awesome things going on over there. Good luck, everyone, jumping into that giveaway. I see you there. Thanks for joining us. If you are not already, please give us a follow. You can jump into all our socials. They'll pop around in the chat there from time to time and get all of the news about what's going on. Jump into the Discord, Twitter, or whatever. And we will look forward to seeing you there if you come over and join us. Now, without further ado, let us return. Our party is split, much as they are split by the starry void that is Zakan at the moment. They separated as Corbin was summoned to the home of their monastery up in the Spine of the World Mountains, up here at Raven Rock. A childhood frenemy, rival, appeared whilst they were dealing with the wood elves of Zumhana in the Lurkwood, and whisked them off away to meet with their mother, the wood elf, the other member of the Raven Rock Monastery, the fabulous Amara, who's there and looks awesome. And they went off to see just what was popping off at Raven Rock, and we should catch up with what's happened there in just a moment. Meanwhile, Kalo, Zakan, and Alora headed via Tree Stride, using the magic of the druid of the Wood Elves, to teleport themselves to the woods near the mountains of Gauntlgrim. And Elora's friend and everyone's friend, the shield dwarf scout Eldith, guided them up through the mountains to one of the secret entrances and returned home along with our adventurers, where they arrived and made use of the minecart mass transit system and trundled their way off into the vaulted halls through the incredible architectural design and feat of engineering that is this incredible dwarven stronghold. Now, so I'm going to shift my camera a little bit. I'm kind of skewed. Excuse me.
Mm-hmm.
Must have shoved my screen around or something. There we go. Sorry, folks. Little on-stream finagling here. There we go. Phantom, how's it coming through on stream? I'm getting some lag on my camera. And if Corbin, Kayla, if you've got eyes on, same question. Is it lagging on stream as well? Is it just me?
Might be, yeah.
Stop.
Just double checking now.
I hope it's just me, because I can cope with that. I don't need to look at my face.
You're fine.
Yeah?
At least on my end.
Oh, good. Then no problem. I'm just...
Yeah, you're fine.
Excellent. A little lag, maybe. Okay. Yeah, I don't know. Recently, my computer's not enjoying it running everything. It's because of all those new updates.
Right.
Let us update your software and make it difficult to run, whilst
Thanks, OBS.
having no obvious changes to the way it runs. Yeah, no worries, Phantom. Right, okay, so let us jump into things here as we return to Out of the Abyss, as they are thoroughly out of the abyss, up on the surface world at the moment, for now. But soon to return to the depths of the Underdark. We have Corbin. Who are you in the real world? Who are you playing? And actually, I should do this the other way around. Ignore me. Because we need to dive into your story a little. We have more catching up to do with you than with that edgelord over there. So, speaking of said edgelord, Kalo, who are you in the real world?
Hi, friends. I'm Mike. You know me as Grim in chat. It's been a while, so let me redo introductions formally. Tonight, I will be reprising my role with these lovely folks as our half-drow paladin of Illustrae, Halo, who, rescued by our dear Zakan many years ago, seeks to bring his brothers and sisters of Illustrae to the surface and fight the Spider Queen herself.
Indeed. I'm sure that'll end well.
Always will. Nothing could go wrong.
Zakan will be with us in just a moment, but before that, Corbin, disappearing off to the wintry mountains of the north. Who are you in the real world? Who are you playing? And, in a very, very real sense, where are they at?
Hi everybody, I'm a Buns in the real world when I'm not Corbin, but while I'm here, I play our changeling druid / monk of the Way of Mercy, spore druid by the way, and possible future Beastmaster. Someone who very much so has no sense of safety for themselves and seems to jump right into adventure, both walking in and out of the Underdark on purpose. But other than that, where are they now? That's a sticky, tough question. They did go off with their frenemy / rival in order to do some family things. They were being trained at the monastery for a very specific purpose, something that they found out when they got back with their mom. They kind of was told why they were sent there in the first place, and it wasn't because they were annoying, as they originally thought.
Good guess.
Right. But they have a very different mindset, I think, when they come back to the group when we reunite, because for the last however long it's been in game, not quite sure how long it's been in game, they have been fulfilling their training, which was to be the left hand of their mother's cleanup crew. So let's just say the training has gone very well and their mother is pleased. Whether or not they are pleased is another thing, but their mom's happy.
Indeed. And I'd say your mother is also quite happy with how you've kind of embraced the druidic side of things more. Because I think being up in the mountains there is a certain affinity with nature. And
at the
things.
time is with the aviary that's up there. A lot of people tend to bond with the ravens that are used to pass messages back and forth because it's so far out. It's like the only way to get any type of communication. Yeah.
And as you are about set to return south to meet up with your friends at Gauntle Grim, did we decide? Is your mother going to?
We did not decide that.
No. How would you like to run that? Because there is a way that she could be.
No, but I have a question. A question before I answer that.
Please.
Would my mom be willing to offer us help in our quest in return for me doing something for her and the organization? If so, if they felt like they could possibly get their mom's help, then they would be willing to do what they needed to do, knowing that they had this backup of these basically mercenary group that's sparsed out and located a little bit of everywhere to have backup. In the beginning, they tried to use their mom's name to get them into places. Now they would actually have permission to do that.
She will promise you the services of the operatives they have in Mantle Dareth.
Okay. Then I don't think she would come yet. I don't think she would be with me, not yet.
Okay. Then, she asks that you check in how much of what's happened do you report?
To the others, like
to the monastery and to your mother.
Both of you to assume I've been reporting anything. As far as what happens when I went down into the Underdark, that whole thing, no. I think I reported that I did go down there. I did have some adventures. I got it out my system, as my mom would say. But and I ended up getting a cave spider that I left with my group in order to. They don't know anything about anything else.
Okay.
Not unless I thought it was dangerous, and I don't think the queen and the spores and everything have even begun to make it out that far. So it's not.
How connected is the organization? Do they just wait for people to come and contract them, or do they actually have feelers out in the world? Because if they're quite sorry.
You were about to say it'll be based off what you were going to say.
It's just because there's two ways that they could play that, right? They could be just this isolated up in the mountains there, and people come to them if they need them, and that's plenty as far as business is concerned for the monastery's sake. Or do they actually go out looking for jobs and employment?
Weirdly, it's like it's a mix of both. If you want to get in contact and hire them, you have to go through the monastery, and then they will send out people and go, these are the people that are waiting in this area. You can contact them. So it's kind of like there's organization, and there are people put in strategic places where they know bad stuff happen all the time, and people will need muscle, or people will need to get stuff done. There's a lot of political friction. My mom's definitely going to have operatives there because we could work both sides. It's not about being anything specific, it's about being hireable and making money.
Okay.
So they're like fences too, so if you need something to get across from someplace to someplace else, they're the people that you hire, or they're one of the people that you hire. They're not a guild though, so they have to stay like under everything. They're not really working with guilds or anything like that.
Yeah. Okay.
That's money that they could be making.
Okay. In which case, I think you find that your mother is fairly aware of what's happening. Because the effects of the demon lords rising up and their presence being felt in the Underdark is starting to be felt on the surface, much as it was at your satellite monastery.
Yeah, so the other people definitely reported that.
Yeah, and the various factions that operate around the Sword Coast and the Forgotten Realms in general have started mobilizing. And hey, there's a gun.
It is racist.
He's got his funky camera thing, which just makes you look like a Force ghost every time, Stephen.
Every time.
So you find that the various factions, such as the Lord's Alliance, which is the alliance of all the big city-states and all the powers that be on the Sword Coast, the Harpers, the do-gooder spies and operatives that are all over the place, the Order of the Gauntlet, which are a bunch of like Templars and Paladins and holy Avengers fighting against evil, the Emerald Enclave, the Druidic forces that are joined throughout the realms, all of them have started to address this problem and be aware of this problem. And do you tell your mother that you're going to Gauntlegrim?
Oh, when they release me, yeah, so that they know that that's where I'm going.
Right.
Oh, I would have told them about that monastery with the we fought with the lady in the tree, everything. That's about really the only thing I would report, because that was one of our monasteries.
Yes.
And that was one of our people. That's about it.
Yeah, she thanks you for that information, and they reassess how much they're keeping in touch with the satellite locations, because everyone's been very much left to their own devices for too long, and it has this has revealed a weakness in that system. So they send a group to reclaim that monastery, and they send out operatives to the others to make sure everyone's okay. And then
I feel like Corbin would have wanted to have a part in that while they were doing it. Like, they wrote most of those messages to send people and to do things. That was like the one thing, because what they were being trained for, other than is because in the end, their mom is training them to replace her. And that's what they found out while they were gone. So when they come back, they're gonna be like, "Oh God, the end game here apparently is for me to end up being in charge of all of this."
Oh, I wish Sam was here because you could bounce off each other with that nicely. To play that.
It'll be a nice surprise when they get back. They'll realize Corbin has responsibility.
Who are you? What have you done with Corbin?
They're sad.
Okay, so you find it, and your mother is impressed that you have also been advised to go to Gauntlgrim and are part of that proceedings, because she's heard that all of the various factions are gathering there at the behest of King Bruenor to address this burgeoning situation. And
does my mom have something to tell me to say to him?
Should the services of Raven Rock be required, then of course, for the correct remuneration, then such services can be provided. Okay, and last but not least, Zakan. Who are you in the real world? Who are you playing? Where are you at?
Hey, I'm Steven, just coming fresh off a bit of work. Apologies for the delay, but I was listening to the stream on the side. I am playing Zakan, our Aasimar ranger / clerk. Clerk is incorrect. Cleric. Although they derive from the same root, actually. Clerics are clerks and vice versa.
Okay.
This is the magical kind, not the paperwork kind. Their sort of level of education is wobbly hand. They have for over 100 years been down in the Underdark with a sort of divine mission to find people who are lost and bring them back up to the surface. And now they're embroiled in this whole abyssal uprising thing, which is more than their tiny, aged, mortal body can handle on their own. So they're seeking help.
Okay, thank you. Right. So, we return to Gauntlgrim. And it's down here. Let's get Neverwinter in shot there as well. Famed city. The city of... what was it I learned in Hans Half-Elven's quiz yesterday? The city of... Talented Hands or something. It's got some weird nickname.
Oh.
Can't remember.
Forgotten lore realm, man.
Sticky fingers.
That's Baldur's Gate.
Yeah, they're twins. Like one is Talented Hands and one is Sticky Fingers. Everyone makes jokes about it.
Apparently Baldur's Gate is the city of blood. That was one of the other answers in the options.
Blood's pretty sticky.
Everyone, if you get the chance to check out Hans Half-Elven's channel and these monthly quiz shows they do, it's awesome fun. There's a Twitch extension which allows you can click on the answer on screen, and
that's really cool.
Play off. All the viewers play off against each other to win win sets of dice. It's very cool. It's very cool.
Future.
Yeah, it's really cool. Nicely interactive, and even on your phone you can just touch the answers as well. But you have to be careful because depending how fast you click depends how many points are at stake. And if you're correct, you get that many points. But if you make a mistake, you lose that many points. So it's vicious.
Yeah, it works like a Quiplash or whatever.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
The Jackbox games.
I see. Right. Okay. So let me.
Before we get into it,
Yeah,
Buns, listening to your description of the Blackrock or the Raven Rock Monastery stuff, do you read Hunter x Hunter? Have we already talked about this? Yeah. Did you base it on Kilwa's family?
I did it, but now that you're saying it.
Living up in the mountains, people just come get them, you know.
Look, That's really funny because out of my friends of the gone of the group, they were like, "And you're Killua." I was like, "I'm not that." Yeah, okay, I'm
It is
Killua.
canon in my head now. Absolutely canon in my head. So does that mean like Corbin's super close to their dad? Like, just a really wholesome relationship?
I wanted to be because I've been throwing around whether or not I was like, yeah, I love my dad. Like my dad dead. Like I've been throwing away the angsty background, trying to figure out which. He's either a bean who is just like, I love my children. No, he's dead. I haven't decided.
Just your mum slipped into like a cozy relationship at one point. It was like, no, what the hell's that?
Either that or everything was super good for the monastery for like
just some
for like that them good like 10 years that he was good, and then he died, and now everything's like nah. I remember when you had a heart, I buried it with your father. All right, cool.
He's just some wholesome blacksmith.
Like the most wholesome, like.
We'll still murder you. I can still kill you 1,000 different ways.
Like a cinnamon roll could kill you. That's my dad. I take after my father.
Nice. And Bun, sorry, you're gonna hate me, but could you please snuggle up nice and close to that mic of yours? Sorry.
No.
Perfect.
The bad thing is that was probably the most crystal clear I've been like the entire.
It's coming.
It really was.
It's coming through. It's coming through. I just had it cranked right up which makes Kalo and Zakan
Everyone
obnoxious.
is just gonna see my mic. We're gonna do this the entire time.
I like it.
Thank you.
It sounds amazing.
Corbin ASMR.
Right.
There you go.
I don't even have nails. Like I can't even really.
Okay. Thank you, friends. We return to the side-on view that I've had in my head this whole time of Zakan, Elora, and Kalo sat in a little line in their minecarts, just their torsos sticking up above the edge of the minecarts, like our character
Like they went to take mall photos.
Yeah. Oh, just trundling along. Oh, by the way, everyone do check out the awesome art of Ryutoshi if you like these character portraits. They're awesome. And yes, the minecart system goes trundling on its way. Hey, Papa. Through the tunnels, and Kalo, Zakan, you find yourselves going through various checkpoints. All manned by dwarven veterans in their full-on armor. And if you saw the Rings of Power, that amazing, the amazing dwarven armor get-up that the dwarves had in that. And you find yourselves heading towards the Vault of Kings. Not the dead center of the fortress. You are told by Eldith, who is still playing guide here, the Great Iron Tabernacle, the vast temple complex to Moradin and all the other dwarven gods, is the main central, both geographically and kind of focus point of the fortress. But the Vault of Kings is where Brunor's audience chamber and all of the main kind of habitation that is available for guests as well as the locals is situated. And as you emerge from a tunnel through a last checkpoint, you find yourself in an jaw-dropping chamber. Large enough to enclose a small town, this high-ceilinged chamber rises above a network of bridges, stone towers, and sturdy walls carved from rock and sheathed in iron and mithril. Dozens of smaller chambers lead out from the Vault of Kings, including sprawling residential areas not yet filled by Gultlegrim's new occupants. The vault's on the same level as the city's main gates, so you haven't descended or ascended at all. You just went straight through. And you've gone through this system of smaller gates and checkpoints that have been set up to heighten the security of this place after everything that this community has been through. You are delivered by your escort, the guards that were escorting you from the main gates, to a residential section, relatively close to King Bruenor's main halls, and you are given time to freshen up from your journey, although it wasn't particularly taxing. You woke up in the Lurkwood, in the palaces of Zumhana, walked through a tree, and now you're here.
Though it feels like we've been on this cart for weeks. That's crazy.
Right, I feel like I've been here forever.
How long has it been? Has it been 3 weeks? 4?
I think
it wasn't
so.
4, was it? It was 3.
Almost a month.
It's good to be back.
Real long minecart ride. And as you said, it's just straight, so it's not even like thrilling. You know, there's no dips.
When do we get to the ride? This is the ride.
This is the
I think
ride.
it's like the people mover.
I think it's better than you guys the walk through the tree being all this time you're away. Like, God, how deep is this tree?
Maharishi coming in with a 1-year anniversary on their subscription. Thank you, Rishi. Wow, a year already.
Rishi.
Cheers, buddy. That would be a spin of the wheel, I believe, Maharishi. Who would that spin of the wheel go to?
Minecart
God,
blows
Rishi.
up.
And Buns, I've got some good news. There are several new additions to the Wheel of Shenanigans. One of which is Disney Princess, which gives you the ability to speak with animals for a day.
Rishi, thank you, and also Rishi, damn you.
Potentially. Kalo getting the spin of the wheel. It's gonna be. We have a sound effect.
Oh,
We
Disney
don't have a
Princess.
visual. There it is. Okay.
Disney princess. Disney princess.
I want the Disney princess so bad.
Wild Magic Surge.
Damn, we're
Also-
so close.
Into
Also
a
good.
Disney princess.
Love you, Rishi.
Give me that D100 preemptively there, Kalo, if you'd be so kind. Thank you,
Sure
Rishi.
thing. Your preemptive D100 roll will be a 83.
83. Thank you. If should initiative be rolled, that will come into play. But who knows? Here, tucked away, safe and sound behind all of these dwarves. I'm sure you're fine. Now, you both take some time and freshen up. Set down your traveling wares and packs and everything. I'd like you to be very specific about what you're carrying as you are moving around the place here, because you're not walking around with your entire backpack on all the time. So on your character sheets, just deselect anything that you would leave in your chambers.
That's such a worrying question to ask, John.
That's a smidge concerning.
Such a
Just a
suspicious
smidge.
question.
There's a list of things you're not allowed to say to us, and that's on it.
Just trying to get, don't want everyone's suspension of disbelief to be taxed too much here.
I mean, Zakan is nomadic by habit, so I think they've got just their entire ass backpack, like their entire hiking kit.
You will be, if you're going for an audience with Bruenor and things like that, you will be encouraged to leave it behind.
So in which case they'd probably leave the pack. Let's go for me keeping weapon.
Yep, everyone's armed, and you are warned that the some of the outer reaches or the as yet unreclaimed parts of the citadel do occasionally have nasty things that come up from the Underdark, because the citadel is connected to the Underdark and to the volcano, and there are all sorts of fire-based like salamanders and rogue fire elementals from Mount Hotanau from time to time.
Mhm.
Daisy and the Candlekeep Mysteries crew come rampaging through. Their first ever session was on Mount Hotanau. That's where they found Thug.
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 That's another group of people I haven't seen for a very long time. Looking forward to Saturday. Catching up with Granny Daisy.
That's right.
Congratulations, Daisy. And congratulations
Cheers,
to Chris,
Daisy.
the first cast member to have a mid-campaign baby.
Aww. You know what, John? I've been traveling with the same thing that I've been carrying with me. I am a light traveler. That's the armor, Lady Silverhair, the shield, and the holy symbol.
That would be all fine.
Yeah, I think Zakan and like whatever escort has like that exact conversation that me and you had, where they're like, "Yeah, I'm fine to go. Let's go." We would encourage you to. And so they do that thing where, like, you know, when you have to like repack at the airport. You like crouch down where you are, and you're like going through, and like I don't know if folks have like gotten a good look at their pack before, but it's full of like so much like foraged random like stuff.
What would the dwarven equivalent be? The DSA?
Yeah, exactly.
DSA.
They hold up like
The
a water skin, and they're like,
for
"Might
you
have
to
to empty
rethink
this."
about your packing, please.
Why can't they just scan detect magic on it and make us? This is unbelievable. We really need to talk to King Bruno about this.
If you see something, steal something.
I don't care if it's just makeup remover. How many milliliters is that?
Look,
Why does powder
see
count as a
this? Do you
liquid?
think this is natural? I need the whole bottle.
Oh dear. That would be like painful if I hadn't not been like completely devoid of any air travel for so long. I actually kind of miss it.
Who just finished riding a plane back and forth to go to this wedding that I was in.
Oh,
So mad. And
I
then
miss-
people got
miss
fast
traveling.
passes like this is goddamn Disney World.
Unbelievable.
You don't let me on this plane.
Meanwhile, at Tokyo Disney now, it now costs you to get a fast pass extra on top of the ticket.
It always costs you to get a fast pass. Was that the point?
No. It's just if you could time it, if you can get the timing.
Yeah, Japan Disney's stayed free for a while.
Okay.
The states went paid a couple years
really?
ago. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that was the thing. You bought the extra package so you could get fast passes. That's why you got them.
Okay.
Yeah.
We did the cool armband thing when we went, so it was fun.
Yeah.
Had that all
Love this.
Magic Band. Yeah.
hooked up. The best thing was just like not needing money in the park at all. It was great just to
Yeah.
not worry about that. Just the
The
restaurant.
Disney Corporation is the largest producer of wearable technology in the world because of fast bands,
Ha!
or the magic bands. Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Right. Anyway.
Anyway, so Zakan takes off their magic band. They put that into the pack.
Is it? Oh no, you need that.
They've got a lot of
attach it on the
jars of
side.
sauce that apparently like have to be declared, and they hold up some raw meat, which I guess isn't allowed to come past the border. It's really crazy.
You come back into your habitation when you're leaving Gauntlgrim, and you find out you racked up like 100 platinum pieces on the bandwagon. Shit.
Throw it on the ground and run.
So, actually, Daisy, while you're here, is everyone okay for Saturday? Sorry, excuse me, just conducting some business here in the chat. Is everyone?
Chat to Daisy. Daisy, how are you doing?
Yeah,
How have things been, Daisy? Hope you're doing well. Congratulations.
this is the first grandchild, right? I just wanted to make sure Chris and everyone's okay for Saturday. But anyway, yes. Now, so after some time, and you have prepared your belongings, and you're ready to
I'm no longer
head
General
out.
Grievous. I don't have like 12 weapons on me.
Well, you're not there yet, unfortunately.
Okay. I thought it was there.
No, because this is literally the same day they left Zumhana.
Oh, okay. No. Shh, I'm in the
so-
background.
So you had a day ahead of them. Thank you, Daisy. You were a day ahead of them because you left, and then they went back and rested. Oh. Bunce doesn't know what happened.
Oh, yeah. No, yeah.
That-
You
that
gotta
just-
stop
This is gonna be
having
good.
revelations
that occurred
right
to
now.
me.
What's going on?
This is gonna be good.
We're gonna be good.
You'll see.
in my recap, Corvin, you'll notice I did mention Zakan, Elora, Kalo, Eldith, and no one else.
You know, I realized that. I thought it because we was dwarf timing. I thought it was dwarfing time. Is it not?
It is. Was there a distinct name ones that was left out of the recap?
Look, I already know that there's some going on with Darendelle. I don't know what happened.
Are you sure it's just Arendelle?
No, I'm not.
Yes, there were two names missing. Now, once you are prepared and settled, a heavily armored... Hey, JR, good to see you. A heavily armored dwarf arrives to summon you before the king himself. Do you accept? Fuck him.
That's why we're here.
Exactly. And so you find yourselves with an escort once more, and you are taken to a mighty hall. It's more of a large kind of communal meeting area. You're kind of struck by the ironic similarities between these groups of people that are historically a bit friction-filled in their relationships. But, it's very similar to the Elven halls at Zumhana, where it's not just a throne room, but more of a hall of operations and a meeting place and a coming together of all the important folks and the people that need to meet and talk to each other. And again, also you're reminded of the Swerfnebelin halls in Blingdenstone. Very similar arrangement. And as you pass through the main hall, there are various courtiers, and you do see other, you see humans and elves. And Kalo, you see a drow leaning against one of the pillars in this main room, who is very unmistakably Brigand Death. The drow organization headed by Jarl Axel that pursued you out of the Underdark, and that Corbin discovered had a contract to find you in particular. Although I don't think they have actually confronted you about that.
Yeah, no. We're all together, right, walking in, and does the rest of the group see as well, or just myself?
I think they would, Alora and Zakan would notice a drow, but they wouldn't necessarily clue in immediately that they were Brigand Death.
Zakan, we're going to have trouble. Potentially.
And I think Zakan, with a passive perception of 17, kind of clocks where Kayla had looked and everything and goes, the drow.
That's Brigand Death. Remember when we exited the mercenaries who were following us alongside the drow priestess?
I remember.
The one that Corbin was trying to infiltrate and had been subdued uncharacteristically?
Fair. I did infiltrate.
It's the getting back out. Exfiltrating was probably.
Exfiltrating. That's officially coined. Clip that. Exfiltrating is officially coined in the Wackyverse as a thing. So.
But they nod, and their full attention sort of turns to Kalo, and they say, "Yes, what was it they called you again?"
My real name, Balak. He's going to put the cloak over his head as he kind of just looks around, and John, would I be able to check the rest of the room to see if there's any other Brigandirth agents, or is it just the one that I see? Could I maybe make a perception check or investigation to kind of read the room and see if there's any other? Yes. Okay. Much obliged. That's not good. That's a 10.
They're sneaky boys, and you do not notice any others, I'm afraid, if they are there at all. Now, you pass through this main massive chamber and into the embrace of a smaller but still magnificent hall, which lies beyond it. And in this mighty hall, there is a red-haired dwarf of fierce and proud demeanor, sitting upon a massive stone throne, flanked by a number of guards and advisors. And although a long stone table has been set to one side, laid out with refreshments, there do not appear to be any other guests. "Welcome, friends," says the king. "I've a mind to know about the rumblings and rumors, about goings-on in the depths outside my city. If you relate to me what you know, we can talk about what you might want to do next." And with a kind of a wave of a thick-fingered hand, the advisors and others kind of retreat to the other end of the room. And the four of you, Kalo, Zakan, Elora, and Eldith, are left with King Bruno.
I think on the prompt, Zakan, leans to Kalo and says, "Keep an eye out for us. Step forward."
And he'll kind of guard the room.
And I think maybe Zakan and Eldith both come forward, maybe.
Sure.
And whatever Eldith does is a sort of sign of respect.
Kayla, you don't necessarily think that's necessary. There's a bunch of guards at that archway between the two rooms, and
that's fair. Okay.
Yeah, it's pretty beefy security here.
All right, so I think it's just a curtsy, and then allow Eldith and Zakan to take the lead.
We're still suspicious of them, no matter what the DM says. The DM who 5 minutes ago was like, "So what exactly do you have on your person?" I'm just curious.
Not sus at all.
Yeah. So I imagine we've taken a knee or something.
Any and all complaints go to R.R. Salvatore P.O. Box.
I'll just hit him up on Twitter real quick. So yeah, Zakan looks up and says, "Your Majesty, feel free to stop me for anything you've already heard, but the long and short of it is that the Underdark is suffering more and more frequent incursions from the Abyss and its lords of evil. Those incursions will very, very soon, if my revelations are correct, they will very, very soon reach the surface, and when that happens, there will be untold destruction. What we have come here to do is to offer our aid and to ask your cooperation in stopping this rising, this uprising of the Abyss before it's too late."
Okay, sorry, I have some arts to show you here, by the way. Here you are.
Ooh.
This is our king.
Let's see that royal ginger.
Oh, look at him.
He's very stately.
It's a cool piece. The only problem I have with it is his left mustache looks like the extension of his finger, so it looks like he's picking his nose.
I kind of thought that he was.
Right, his finger's bent over, but then it goes into the mustache perfectly.
Yeah, so he's just like
the king.
stroking his beard.
Yeah, it's a great picture. apart from that.
It's not rude in dwarven culture to do. It's
True.
just totally fine.
Yeah.
It's common. Nobility do it all the time.
Yeah. Just get in there.
And it's clears out the nasal passages and makes it easier to detect gas pockets in mines and things like that. It's more born of
Exactly.
survivability.
Yeah, it's so dark. You need your sense of smell.
Yeah. Except any D&D ancestry that basically everyone has dark vision these days.
Yeah.
So you say that you've personally attacked Corbin. Corbin will remember this.
Yeah.
How does a changeling not have dark?
Change your eyes. Damn.
This is a family-friendly stream, so I need you to read between the lines.
Wow, very direct.
So, how dare you dictate my moral compass? Bird away, my friend. Bird away.
To not listen to that.
This is a family
Hi, Derek.
antagonistic stream.
I work hard to not listen to that. You respect me.
The only flipping of the bird that's not allowed on this channel is if Zakan was abusing Finn.
Yeah.
You say that like the D20 isn't literally just a flipping bird. Like
I do sometimes flip
it's a
him.
nat 1.
Pokemon is funny.
Yeah, in play, it's fine.
Yeah.
Although, everyone do be cautious of overly rambunctious play. Whilst I was cloistered away last week with being sick and not wanting to infect my family, I returned a couple of days ago to find out that my oldest son, during a rambunctious game playing with his younger brothers and sisters, probably his youngest brother, if I'm going to be making an educated guess, threw something and put a hole in the middle of our TV.
No.
And my 6-year-old delighted in telling me how angry Mum got.
There's steam coming out of you.
I mean, a younger sibling loves nothing more than to watch an older sibling just get ripped into.
Look,
It's the
okay,
incredible catharsis.
I'm a middle kid, so I have both views of this situation. As a younger sibling, you're like, As an older sibling, you're like, it's like slow Italian operas playing in the background while your light flashes before your eyes.
Just stare into the uncanny stare into nothingness.
I also had the adorable.
Immediately followed by, what's that dumb look on your face? I'm contemplating my existence. Please let me have it.
I'm writing my funeral procession.
Right, I'm drawing up my will. Okay.
I also had the adorable experience of my 6-year-old, like meeting me that first morning when I was back, and he's like, comes running over, grabs me around the legs, Daddy. And he's like, I want to whisper, and I lean down. He's like, can we play that game on your phone?
Of course.
You got games on your phone?
Father, I wish to play.
He's like, I've been good all week.
I've been good all week. I should be able to play the game. You know who wasn't good?
Give me Roblox, Father.
Give me Roblox.
It's the Yanko Daisenso, if you know it.
Is that still going?
Yeah.
Oh,
The game's like 10 years old.
Well, it's like Puzzles and Dragons, They just keep having events and combinations with the different anime and things.
That's the one with like real fucked up cats, right? Like spider cats and things.
Yes. Speaking of which, let's just move on because speaking of anime, it reminded me because there's a picture in the next chapter, which the character, it looks so much like a One Piece character. So we need to get that so I can show you.
We can get that.
oh.
Anyway,
For those of you playing at home, feel free to guess.
Yes, which
character.
one? It looks like a One Piece character. Okay.
There's like 3,000 of them. So good luck.
Yeah. I know. It looks like it's the One Piece style. It's not. It doesn't remind me of I am not familiar with One Piece.
Gotcha.
Yeah. That's how I got screwed in the Hans Half Elven quiz yesterday. Any anime or like computer game question just messed me up. I was like, I do very well in that quiz in very specific situations. Like the 5th edition D&D questions are also hit and miss because there's a bunch of rules that I don't know. It's like material components for this spell or whatever. But then every now and then it's like a second edition or a like first edition thing. I'm just like, no idea.
Like, why?
Why? Do not judge me by my aged face. I do not know these old times. I am actually younger than D&D. Just.
But just.
Only just. Anyway, we digress. So yes, he kind of narrows his eyes, that expressive brow furrows, and he's like, what kind of occurrences and incursions are you talking about?
We have seen no less than the complete destruction of 2 different Underdark settlements. The Kuatoa settlement, Slupadup. I do not remember if I am saying that correctly. It's been months. And the settlement of the Myconids, Neverlight Grove. Both had rituals that led to massive destruction. Completely gone.
Grave news indeed. There will be much consternation about the loss of Neverlight Grove with the members of the Emerald Enclave present here. Thanks for the follow, Gigapleb.
I fear it's worse than that. We've been spending time as much as we can with our group, putting out whatever fires we can, stopping whatever rituals we can, and gathering allies in the Underdark. But for every one we put out, there's 10 more that are worse, bigger, out of sight. The influence of the Abyss can drive even normal kin mad, twist them to their deeds. Needs to be stopped at the source and driven back, sealed off.
Such is the way of abyssal things. The locals being strangely quiet. By the way, excuse my bad American accent. The only brush with Gauntlgrim we've had in the Wacky verse is the character Tolm Grimbrewer of the Rime of the Frost Maiden, who is played by Josh with his American accent. So the regional accent for Gauntlgrim is American, just by default there. By the way, you said it's been months, Sakan. It will have been a year next month.
Gosh, yeah.
Actually, hang on.
For our campaign?
No, fucking won't. It will have been 2 years.
Yeah.
Session 0 was January 2021, sorry.
That's crazy. And
Wow.
Slupadup was one of the earlier things we did.
Yeah, one of the first things, yeah. Though, actually, no, slightly harshly, one of the first things you ever did was take on a demigod.
Yeah.
So yeah, Kalo, he looks at you and he says that the locals being quiet.
What Zakan says is true, and Zakan's experience, though vastly different from mine, the friends I have here, I can attest to the incursions also threatening the lives of the children of Illustrae, who I watch in mental dearth. And though these are isolated by nature, we've seen them on the surface, and for Gauntlgrim, I fear if we do not act now, whatever influence bleeds between both worlds may inhabit the one you have reclaimed. I cannot tell you of the potential dangers that we still do not understand, but I know of the things that we have fought, those above and those below. We will need all the help that you can provide.
So, it's safe to assume there's no organization to this. The one benefits of battling forces of the Abyss is their chaotic tendencies tend to scatter their focus and their potential for destruction.
That may be our only saving grace. Go ahead.
Sorry. There is perhaps one force that, if not organizing everything, is the catalyst of all this, and perhaps our way to stop it. And they side-eye the Brigand Darth person. Are there other drow?
They were back in the main room.
Oh, back in the main room. Okay, so there's no other drow in here.
In this chamber, there was a few dwarves. No other ancestries present, and the other visitors to the dwarven stronghold were out in the main room.
Mm-hmm. So they just give a quick, glance, and they say, "The Spider Queen, the drow goddess. Yes, I have it on divine authority that it is she who seeks this destruction."
Oh, I don't doubt it. They all seek wreck and ruin whenever they can. But I'm certain she's mixed up in this somehow. I have a good friend who knows all about that.
I fear that it means a confrontation with the Drow capital.
I wonder, are those matriarchs down there Kalo? He's been informed of your names.
We were announced.
Do they think their prayers, their sacrifices will make Lolth think twice about sweeping Menzoberranzan away, just like anywhere else?
On that, I cannot answer. Though, I suppose, if there's any correlation between Menzoberranzan and these abyssal threats, it may be for that very reason, that whatever their Spider Queen, whatever wrath it prophesizes, they either intend to create or intend to fulfill. My house was destroyed, and frankly, Your Majesty, I may not be the best authority as an answer here, but if there is some connection and they believe that to be true, it may be worth confronting at the source.
That would be a mighty risk, returning there for one who's lost their house.
Well, it wouldn't be the first time I've gotten into a bit of a rivalry with my siblings. And turns to the rest of the group.
Oh.
There.
I've heard a great many things from my friend. If your house is lost, I wouldn't worry about your siblings anymore. The only safe way to destroy a rival house is to destroy it utterly. Your siblings are dead or enslaved by the conquering house.
I apologize, Your Majesty. I meant that in sort of a colloquial term. All those in Menzoberranzan of my house are not. The Drow, they are close in ways and separated in others. The one thing that they certainly do not appreciate is a night of the Dark Maiden stomping back into their grounds and causing some more trouble.
I don't doubt it. I thank you for your information and your reports. Do you have any questions of me?
If I may, I noticed on our way here the various assemblages of the other races, and the city looks like it's in movement. Are you preparing something? Are you perhaps thinking about confronting this issue?
I must consider everything you've presented to me here and consult with my advisors, but suffice to say, if there is a threat to our world, it shall not go without confrontation.
And they nod. Do you, in your experience, imagine there's any chance that the Drow would be our allies in this, that Menzo Branson perhaps senses the threat has grown beyond them?
We shall speak of this more later. Once all of the interested parties have gathered, there will be a great feast. We can talk more then. And he gestures to the advisors waiting patiently at the other end of the room, and they come shuffling over, and the guards waiting in the archway kind of meaningfully stamp, making a noise and getting your attention. And Eldith says, "Thank you, Majesty. We really appreciate this time and look forward to working together." Hey, D&D with me, coming in with a raid. Hello, raiders. How you doing?
Hi, friends.
Good to see you. We are playing Out of the Abyss. They are in the dwarven stronghold of Gauntlgrim, and they have just had an audience with the king, King Bruenor of Drizzt fame.
D&D with us.
Indeed. Let me just try this new shout-out thing.
Does it work?
Boop. Everyone, if you are not already, please head on over. Well, don't head on over because you don't have to do it anymore. Please click up there and give D&D with me a follow. I hope you had a fantastic session, everyone. Thanks for coming on by. Good to see you. We have a giveaway. Thank you, Phantom. We have a giveaway there. It's in chat there. ! Enter. Jump in. Get the fantastic The Great Library from CZRPG. Okay. Now, is there anything that you'd like to do? Because there's a small kind of period of limbo here as people are gathering. Do you do anything before Corbin arrives, or can we jump to that?
Yeah, we could jump to that. I think Kayla would definitely ask, the status of Corbin, see if they've returned or have met them. Still concerned. That's a very long walk, and quite frankly, I think with Esmeralda missing, he's concerned about those tangibles in the party.
And I think we can kind of explain Sam's absence here with the fact that Elora is getting more and more worried about that and anxious to move forward. And especially with the need for diplomacy and the need to kind of like spend time here and organizing things when she just wants to ignore all of that and focus on her own problem. And the kind
He's
of
watching our stuff.
and the implications of this kind of goings on and this kind of ponderous progress, potentially waiting for her if she ever did take up the royal mantle. That has been thrust upon her.
For Corbin's arrival, are we talking like a couple days, probably? Or...
I'll say it's the next day.
Okay. Yeah. So probably just with the rest of this day. There is one thing that the con does.
We've just been playing in Chacenta's Tyranny. There were some giant ravens in the last game. So let's say Raven Rock Monastery has some giant ravens that.
Oh hell yeah!
Corbin is like, well, thank you. I'm gonna go and see my friends now, and sets off towards the main gate. And her mother, the mother's like, fly, you fool! Points to the rookery.
I saw Bunce's eyes get very, very wide.
All I'm saying is their names are Charles and Dickens.
Very good, very good. Which one do you take, though?
Dickens, because I'm me.
Climbing up on board,
Corbin
going,
and Charles.
Dickens.
Come on, that is not fun as saying Corbin and Dickon. Wait, I regret this. Hold on.
No, that's canon.
My name's
See you
Dickens.
later.
I'll be your raven for today.
I'll be a raven for today.
Quoth the
I
raven.
guess my Zoom name is very appropriate now.
Yes.
Okay. So yes, Corbin, you do arrive, and it seems you are expected. As the Dwarven watch, from their secret carved hideaways and lookouts around the various valleys, do actually gesture to you and call you down from the sky, and Dickens bows respectfully and heads back north. You're not keeping him.
This close.
We're like, wait, do you want to join the party?
Right, I park him. Beep beep. I would like to valet my giant raven, please.
To the owner of the giant raven, you left your lights on.
Toss your keys to a confused Dwarven guard. He's like, these for?
Please join us for the side adventures of Gobblegook and Dickens, the raven and the dwarf who have gone on harrowing adventures.
I was gonna say, yeah, they wait till you're ushered inside and off to meet your friends, and then it's like, so we fly it around the volcano a couple of times first, right? It's like, yeah.
No.
Just what you do.
Coming this season to the Phoenix E-Wackyverse.
6-part miniseries.
Every time there's just one too many people out of a campaign, they'll just be the new people who just get Dickens and ride them to an adventure. just straight Mary Poppins style. He shows up when he needs to.
We already have a horse that does that. So.
Oh, that's right.
Okay, but I rush in so that I can join the others.
Okay. So you are brought along the boring horizontal roller coaster.
It's just like Muzak. What is?
Takes 3 weeks.
Muzak. What is it?
We dick.
It's just very rhythmic picks. Like anything is almost like listening to a production of Stomp.
And
They're like built into the tracks, like as you roll over it.
That's
So
what
they,
it
like
is.
they go.
Like those
Yeah.
music roads with the grooves cut
Yeah,
in.
yeah,
and you
exactly.
ride them
Oh,
at
yeah.
the correct speed limit. It plays a song.
Yeah. But it's so long. I mean, you just keep hearing it over and over and over again.
No, it's just
like elevator music.
sounds like an
Just
OK Go
Bohemian
music video.
Rhapsody, all 5 minutes of it. It's just Bohemian Rhapsody.
Okay. Don't stop me now, cause I'm digging such a good hole.
I'm finding some gems. Don't stop me now.
It's gonna be stuck in Corbin's head now. Yeah.
I just, every time there's a
Just
serious
can't get it
thing,
out.
be running just like.
So,
now my monk theme song, I would like that to play in every clip of me describing an ending move for Corbin. Don't stop me! Don't stop me! It's a montage.
Don't stop me.
a dwarf slides in from the sides. I'm digging a hole. Okay.
Dwarf rock, you heard it first.
Yeah.
Anyway. Sakan, Caleb. Elora, in fear and concern for her friend, has taken to her chambers and is quite literally worried sick. Until one day, Corbin arrives. Corbin, you are delivered, and I think Eldith comes and answers the door where the guards come. And she's like, Corbin! You're back! Everyone, Corbin's back! There's like canned laughter and applause.
Corbin says their catchphrase.
Phoenix UK is filmed in front of a live chat audience.
A live chat audience. Recorded in front of a live Zoom call.
So, Corbin, you see Zakan, Kalo, and Eldith.
We're missing people.
Yeah, it's a long story, and Kalo just kind of brings Corbin over. We should talk. First of all, are you okay? You've had quite a journey. I understand you walked for a few days. Is everything all right?
This is that moment of just like everything that's happened, like playing in their brain, and then they're just like, I'm fine.
Okay.
Let's just say that there are a few things that I probably owe some people, and I may want to kill my mother. Don't worry about it.
Just in the normal way.
Yeah, it's just normally just the forever machinations of a relationship between a mother and daughter will be unknown to you for the rest of your life, and I barely want to be in it. Like, all with a smile on their face.
You know, that does nothing to quell my anxiety, but I am glad you're back.
Thank you. But we can trade long stories. I'll tell you a little bit about what I've been up to, and you can tell me why there's only 4 of us in this room.
Kind of nervously looks over at Zakan, waiting for some sort of acknowledgement or start.
Yeah, Zakan's been I think on the table they're arranging some of their stones and various twigs and foraged things. And it's unclear if they're doing a ritual or what. But without looking up, they say, Corbin, were you able to secure your mother's assistance in this matter? In the battle to come?
I was able to secure compliance as long as I get us a proper price.
And they nod and they say, and did you clear your head somewhat?
I have answers, and I think that's cleared my head, is a good way to put it.
And they nod again, and then to Kalo. Yes, let's take some time to catch up. We won't be moving until the king decides we're moving.
I've left following orders from one person to following orders from another. And you know they don't mean that from you, Zakan. They mean it from the king. Kind of a thing. And they just sort of sit and begin to tell you guys a little bit about what they did, what they were getting into. Odd being back underneath their mom again and kind of realizing that they never lost that mechanic ability to do and to fight and unfortunately to kill. So if anything, they kind of say, after they kind of give you a few of the rundowns, so hopefully I can be of more use in the future. I don't think I have as many holdbacks on things.
If that was you holding back, I would be terrified for everything that stands in front of you, Corbin.
I know you mean that as a compliment in some way, but no, I'm still me. You know, just apparently quicker. They say like that's not also terrifying.
Already very fast.
You see, the anxiety was at an okay level here, Corbin, and it keeps spiking.
How is me being stronger making you more anxious?
No, that's fine. That puts it back here. But the way that, more importantly, if this is something that has been troubling you, we just want to make sure you're all right. And at the end of the day, whatever your mother put you through, whatever the monastery put you through, we just want to know it's still you at the end of the day. And if you say it's you, I trust you.
It's still me. One day I'm gonna have to go back and apparently be in charge. So until then, it's still me.
Alora is going to have so many notes to share with you when she feels better.
Is she sick?
Kind of looks to the ground. In a way, yes.
Accidentally hatch another dragon, so what's going on?
Esmeralda is captured. We don't know her status, but it has put Alora in a bit of a difficult state.
Captured by
Our Darendelle. Our Darendelle went mad and captured her. Took her somewhere. The real Darendelle, that's what we're calling him now, has sent out a search party. We pleaded with them, the elves, to let us find her. This was Elora's time. But we bit our fucking tongues. This was more important, I guess.
Sitting in a room, waiting for people to tell us that we're allowed to fight something we've already been fighting was more important than us going after a fight.
I hate it too. I don't know why we hesitated. I don't know why we somehow just trusted these elves who, for some reason, in a few days gave us their word as if we were supposed to take it as law, but we hesitated. Now, Laura's sickly. She's not there, and she will likely not be there until we get Esmeralda back.
And you're sure she's actually laying down somewhere and not gone?
Well, we knocked on her door, got a slight acknowledgement. Zakan, did you hear anything different?
She was there when I checked, but if she is going to leave to find her, then that is her path. I cannot force her to confront this foe that we are facing no more than I can force you or you, Corbin. We are here sitting, yes, and we are joining forces with a larger group under command of the king. But that isn't because we want to. It is because it is our best shot, perhaps our only shot at stopping what is happening. And as much as I treasured Esmeralda's company, as much as I am worried for her safety, she is but one life.
How can you you say that? She's one of us.
People are only important to Zakan as long as they are being led out of the Underdark. Apparently, Surface Zakan is a very different person. But all the same, as long as you're strong enough to do what you need to, since this is something we must do. I'm here. And then they like cross their legs and sit down cross-legged.
Yes, you are.
We must place our trust in the elves of Zumhana. If we cannot trust these groups that we are asking to take on this foe with us, then we are lost.
Here I am biting my tongue for the bigger problem again.
It's a tough thing to swallow. And a very, very bitter draft, but that is what it means to serve something greater. I would not fault either of you for leaving. I cannot, but that is my decision. That is my burden. And what's more is my home.
So what are we doing while we wait? Are we really just waiting here? Are there any preparations that need to be done?
We should arm ourselves. We should rest, which is part of the work. And we should prepare ourselves for the very high possibility of our death. If you have anything you want to close, letters to send, things to set right, then I suggest you do them before we move out.
Unfortunately for you, Zakan, the thing I need to close is down there. So whether you like it or not, you're stuck with me.
That brings me some comfort.
Gross, you have your friends now. Alright, well, then I'm apparently a little more blunt than I originally was. But I can't change that now. And I've already said that I don't mind killing. So, I have no plans to die. I've already done it like 3 times. I'm really good at it, but some things you should just leave by themselves.
4th time better not be a charm, because Shakushio and Webster would definitely not like to find a foster.
If anything, I really hope they're not around if I charm death. I'm pretty sure Shakushio would eat me. You'd think it'd be Webster. I'm banking on the dragon.
I mean, is that how you want your children to respect you, though? Is to eat you?
Well, my father was a green elf, so that's kind of the thing. Looks like cinnamon roll could kill you. Actually, we went over this.
Like little metric chart. Looks like a cinnamon roll is a cinnamon roll. Looks like a cinnamon roll.
Okay.
Venn diagram.
Yes. and me, and then I'm in the middle. I'm the middle of the Venn diagram.
Okay.
Where are my children?
There is.
The camera pans over.
I think they were keeping Elora company, but once your voice is heard, there's big puppy energy is. You're
skittering of many legs.
Just a mastiff and like a pit bull come out.
Oh no!
You're bowled over by a giant spider, and a red dragon wormling.
Who has to have gotten bigger?
A little. A little.
I don't mean, they were like a Labrador puppy with just like huge paws. Like they just didn't know what to do with their big feet. And now they're at least like at the long leg stage. Cats go from kittens, they're like fluff ball, long boy, tall boy, cat. He's at least at
like
long
marking
boy
like your
things.
marking like your kid's height on the wall. Just mark it every time. Oh, Sharkushio, your wings have gotten bigger. Look at that.
Yeah, they got bigger. My staff have little notches on it for how long his wings.
You can tell by how far up the wall the char marks go.
Yeah. Out of anger, like, hey, that was almost to the ceiling. Good job.
Okay. After Corbin's had time to rest and has caught up with you all and heard what happened, heard about Durandil giving in to the madness of Fraser Blue, and having
Trying very hard to not just roast him.
taken Esmeralda to the callings of their demon prince, wherever they may be lurking in the Underdark. You are summoned, now that everyone is together, to a very large feast. And once more you are escorted back to that giant hall, but it is much more populated now, both with people and tables. And there are tables set up all throughout this large room, and all manner of folk gathered there. All different ancestries, just all different types of folk there. A majority of dwarves and the locals, but there are clearly various other factions at play here. You three are gestured forward through the main room, and there are several people, regarding your passing through and curious as these people who have the ear of the king, having newly arrived. And you again go through that large archway separating the main hall from the smaller throne room, and again you see Bruno on his throne, Corbin, for the first time. But again, this room too has changed and is full of several tables, much fewer than the main room. And from the finery and the uniforms and the general demeanor of the folks here, you would say that the heads of the various factions are here, with their seconds and perhaps thirds, but just the top groups, as well as some of the head priests of the reclaimed temples here in the Iron Tabernacle, and the master smiths. You've heard that parts of the Great Forge are still operational and in use again, and you are brought forward to one of the tables right at the front of the room, closest to the throne. All three of you this time very clearly see, and there's no attempt made to hide or be stealthy at all. Lounging in one of the chairs at a nearby table to yours is Jarlaxle himself.
Damn it. Just
Is it bad? I'm trying to remember if
Hey,
Corbin
Lich,
was
thank you.
thirsting over him or not. I don't think they were, but I know there was just some ambiguous thirst happening for a minute there.
Yes, the wide brim of the hats and the finery poised just so as they lean with one arm on the back of the chair.
Call me a feather and put me in
Oh. Is it getting hot in here?
I'm sorry, it's right there. I couldn't.
I blame the fire
There's like a
primordial.
weird energy in between them.
Yeah.
Looking back and forth.
Like, I don't know what this tension is, but I'm uncomfortable.
There is a raised eyebrow at your entrance.
Something's about Corbin never change, and waiting in awkward situations is one of them.
Corbin, no, never mind. I'm not gonna stop them.
He's like, and I'm just like,
So,
It's me, I was the spy, remember?
no. I look different. Leave me alone. I was changed. I look like Homeboy. I totally wrong. I was wearing his clothes and everything.
Oh man, does Corbin like, you know, like there's no recognition
Like, I
coming
don't
from
wait
Jalaxle, so
minutes,
they
like,
like
the
change
room.
their face. They're like, "Remember?"
I got a wig in here. Hold on.
Like mid-conversation.
Your Breaking Death operative that we killed?
It's me. No. They come in, and I'm assuming that we get announced again, like they were the first time when we go into the Great Hall with all the people. So when they do, it's like, and here is blah 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 blah, and Corbin Yandra, which you guys will learn their whole name for the first time, and they're just like, like after they say their name, they're like, hello. Like, they can't help it.
And
That was the whole name.
I'm waving. Kelly.
you are seated, and everyone is taking their places here. And you are served. Let's see here. Okay. Vast platters are brought in with glazed and seared mutton, with sliced turnips and wild mushrooms, served with trenchers of rye bread, you know, just the big half loaves with the scooped out, so you're making bowls of them. And then big flagons of brown ale, which you heard is some of the one of the local families, the Grim Brews. It's one of their finest, one of their new recipes, and it's got a bit of a sweetness to it, you know, like kind of like almost like a porter, and kind of, that's like toffee kind of edge to it, and yeah, there's just a big banquet here, and during the process of the banquet, you are introduced, just passingly, no extended conversations at first, but you're introduced to the various people who are here, and there are indeed representatives of the Harpers, the Order of the Gauntlet, the Emerald Enclave, the Lord's Alliance, Bregan Death, and the Zentarum as well.
Oh.
And they are all gathered here to address the menace and the dangers that are growing ever more present in the space here. Now, is there any of those people that you would like to speak to? Or anything that you would like to do during this banquet?
I'm going to talk to Jarlaxle.
You're gonna get mad at me for waving.
Dive right into it.
You head over?
Okay.
Okay. So, you take a seat. And again, they're just kind of slightly at an angle, not sitting straight at the table, just kind of like lounging back, observing you from beneath the brim of that hat, which they have not taken off. Balak.
Jarlaxle.
We spent such a very long time pursuing you through the Underdark. Your expeditious retreat from your home.
Ah, so they were still searching for me. And pray tell, what were they looking for when they hired you? Did they tell you anything?
That you are a danger to yourself and those around you.
The cipher points to where the priestess had mentioned.
Second, sorry?
You know that when they first found that there was energy in, like, the information that was stuck in his head points there.
Yes. It seems you have angered some of my darling mother's friends. And you are not to be trusted running about the place willy-nilly.
Is that what dear mother has to say?
Not your mother. Nothing is heard from her anymore.
For a good reason, and for a much better reason.
Ooh, did you sell out your own family? Delicieux.
Jalaxel, I don't know how to put this delicately. I'm a bastard, and I am very glad that they are destroyed.
Well, it is a release that you are privileged to enjoy. My mother is unfortunately too powerful to ever be taken out. Although, it has its advantages. I, for example, can come and go from the city as I like. You should never show your face there again.
Perhaps not. Perhaps I know the length of your mother's leash around your neck. I will say this. Whatever intentions you've had with my friends, I would caution them until all this is over. And you and I can settle things. But for now, they're off limits. Especially of what you did to Corbin.
Corbin was found infiltrating our camp, stealing from us, impersonating one of our members that you murdered.
Oh, did we? I wasn't aware.
Don't be absurd. You knew who was chasing you. And that is on them. We do not hold it against you. But I'm afraid your friend and you cannot be allowed to run around up here and endanger these poor people from the wrath of she of the many legs. And when he says your friend and you, he looks at Zakan, not Zakovin.
They're not your concern. And I would advise you not bring Zakan's name into the light. I am not good at playing politics, so I will get straight to the point. Whatever you're here for, and whatever your intentions are, I would suggest you keep that in the back of your mind until all of this is over. Regardless of whether you follow that Spider Queen or not, there are more pressing issues. For now.
You know I have no love for her. She wants me dead almost as much, if not more, than you. I just do not cause her as much trouble as you do. Zakan, with that passive perception of yours, there is something off about the light. The placement of the braziers and the coals and the fires that are lighting the chamber. There's something, as you're kind of like watching Kalo and wondering, what's going on there. There's something in the way the shadows don't kind of match up to how how they should be.
When they would have come into this banquet, because presumably there was some time where you just had to sit there and preamble and whatnot. So they were thoroughly just investigating the room and drinking beer. And on noticing something off like that, they'd set off a detect evil and good ping.
Okay. And that calls on, is it fiends? Celestials?
Aberration, celestial, fey, fiend, undead, elemental.
Okay.
Or magically consecrated or desecrated place.
Okay.
Object.
There is a strong fiendish ping.
Does it tell me where? It does tell me where.
Exactly where the shadows look strange.
Okay, so it's these lanterns. Something about them is, or at least something around them.
It's not directly the lanterns themselves. It's more where Kalo is talking with this Jarlaxle fellow.
Mm-hmm.
The shadows look strange. They look wrong. They should be elsewhere.
I think. Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, they don't stretch off Jarlaxle the direction they should.
So specifically where he is.
Mm-hmm.
Is that with the spell, the source of it appears to be that shadow?
Yeah, that zones in on it.
I mean, gods forgive me, I think they just stand up, stride over, and they're going to jam their glaive down into the shadow.
Before you do that,
You've just been over there.
That's the intent.
Drinking this whole time, and then
they just stand up.
You stand up and start stalking across the room towards where Kalo is talking with Jarlaxle. Kalo, you haven't seen this yet, kind of looking at Jarlaxle, focused on Jarlaxle. But because you also see what happens very clearly. And Corbin, you too, as you watch Zakan move across the room. And Alora's here as well. Much as once before, you see the shadow twist, move, and coalesce into the form of a very pale, deathly-looking drow. The same figure you saw materialize in the throne room of Blingdenstone before one of the Sverfnevlin leaders was assassinated. And Kalo, you see that just before your mouth goes wide with surprise, echoed by the surprise on Jarlaxle's face, as the dark, serrated, poison-dripping blade is thrust through his torso and erupts from his chest, spraying his untouched glazed lamb with his blood.
Don't ruin the food.
And Jarlaxle, Bairn Ray, the leader of Bragan Death meets his death. And we shall stop there.
Yeah.
No, thank you. No, thank you.
So, thank you, dear players.
I would like to start next session by just yelling hand check so we can make sure none of us did that.
Oh, don't worry. This becomes very clear as this drow figure has appeared behind Jalaxel and done this.
Okay.
And there are cries of alarm and surprise and horror around the room as
Shillelagh.
actually I say we leave it there. Let's leave it a little bit more. This drow looks past Jalaxel's corpse slumped on the table at you, Kalo, and at you, Zakan, approaching, and they glow with kind of a dark purple, almost like a drow dancing lights kind of spell energy, and start to twist and enlarge, and their torso erupts out from their back, and legs burst from the side, and the creature is transformed by the power of Loth, having found her prey, found these betrayers, followers of Illustrai, and her assassin lunges to attack. That is what we will jump into next time.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
But let me just show you what you're dealing with here.
Now.
Cool.
Hello.
Yeah. Ah.
I'm still into it. I'll take one for the team.
I volunteer as tribute.
Brave monster fucker, Corbin.
Stay true to ourselves. That is the Wackyverse way.
The judgment-free zone.
The judgment-free zone. I'm willing to take one for the team. Are you?
So yes.
They are getting blasted or stabbed or whatever.
You regret asking me to join this game yet,
Also, Zakan, that was not the only source of fiendish energy that pinged. There were other sources in the room. So we shall find out just what they are coming from next time as Loth's assassin, slayer of Swerfneblin royalty, turns towards these two wayward children, mistaken followers of Illustrai, to release them from their misguided faith and back into the warm embrace of spider silk in the chaos webs.
I'd like to see him try.
Okay, so massive thank you to everyone who popped in. Thank you for the follows, the subs, those bits, Lich. Thank you so much. And that raid coming in from D&D with me. Thank you so much. Absolute pleasure to have you all here. I hope you enjoyed that little tiptoes into political stuff there. There will be some more once this has been dealt with. If any of our crew are still left standing, there will be some more kind of chit-chats to be had to the various factions before heading off Esmeralda's way and back to the Underdark. I am looking forward to it very much. So, thank you, everybody. And we shall see just what happens next time. Now, let's say goodbye to these fine people before we draw our winner. If you are not already, jump into that giveaway, ! Enter for the chance to win the great library from the fantastic DM's Guild bestseller that is CZRPG. Check out their awesome Patreon and the link over there in chat as well. Awesome encounter design and stuff going on all the time. Beautiful maps and the like. Please give them a look. And we shall say goodbye to these fine people. Corbin, who are you in the material plane?
Well, I am not the semi-hardcore, semi-waiting, and semi-traumatized Corbin. I play all of those things, but as a Buns. You normally can find me on Twitter at Honeybuns or here on Twitch at BattlescarBunny. And I really don't have any streams coming up most of the time other than this lovely game on Wednesdays. I randomly try to stream on my own channel every other Monday. Right now, I'm addicted to Fall Guys, so if you just want to watch me be bad at that, you can head over to my channel.
Yeah, let's do one of those new shoutouts as well. Here's the link here if you want to give Battlescar Bunny a follow. Please give that a click there. I like this. I like this new way. You can just click it without leaving the stream.
Yeah,
That's really cool.
Mm-hmm. Jump in. Thank you. Zakan.
Thanks everyone for watching. Once again, I am Steven, and this is the only stream that I do that's not work related or anything like that. So always glad to join in and see y'all. You can hit me up on Twitter at Distant Shores if you want to see my ramblings about design or urban development.
Hey, thank you, Papa.
But aside from that, I'll catch you here next week.
Hey, Buns, Papa there with the follow coming in through. Thank you.
Nice.
Ooh. And last but not least, Kalo.
Hi, friends. Thanks for joining again tonight. I've been Kalo, and you'll find me here usually Thursday mornings. Depending on how things go, you may also still see me on Monday mornings or Sunday evenings. We'll see what happens.
Indeed, yes. Amazing things happening on the Hunger of the Throne at the moment. Do not miss next week. Thank you. And we are QuestJunkiesUK. We play lots of D&D and occasional other systems. All sorts of stories and adventures going on all the time. And it is an absolute pleasure to share them with you as you join us on our trails through the Wackyverse. We will be back later today or tomorrow morning if that's your thing as we rejoin the crew in Barovia and beyond. They are about to take on 4 hags. So a coven plus 1. So we shall see how they do with that. It's going to be a very nasty fight as they battle against the Bone Grinder Coven and Bava Lysaga in the tower, the living tower with Strahd's beating crystalline heart at its peak. We shall see how they do. Are they able to find the key to open the way to the Carnival, where they will find the next spirit of the Ladies of the Thanes? And then we'll be back Thursday evening or Friday morning with Wild Beyond the Witchlight, and then on Saturday we have the fabulous Candlekeep Mysteries returning, hopefully with the full crew. We shall see how that goes, and then back to the Hunger of Ithrin next week. An absolute pleasure as always, my friends. Thank you so much. Do give us a follow, jump in that Discord, have a look at those VODs over on the YouTube, enjoy all the things, and we look forward to seeing you all again very soon. But let us say thank you in a rather more meaningful way to one of you lucky folks as we choose today's winner. I think I need to refresh that. There are apparently no entries.
That doesn't sound right.
That doesn't sound right at all. Wait, OBS. I saw people entering. Don't lie to me. Refresh. Sorry, everybody. 2 seconds.
Not as Palsy Slides, OBS.
There we go. I see you all now. Okay, closing up the entries. Good luck, everyone. Today's copy of The Great Library from CZRPG goes to... Boop. Ziggy! Ooh, of the Chaotic Seas. Congratulations, Ziggy, and thank you for joining us as always. I will send you the link to download your new CZRPG fun and adventures coming soon. Enjoy. Okay, my friends, that is all for today. We are going to head off raiding, probably over into our Stream Team buddies, Guild Superior. They're still going. They started an hour before we did.
Oh, wow.
They're probably over there saying, right, let's go and raid into QuestJunkiesUK. It's like, raid to each other.
Eat him to the punch.
Let's have a look here. Yeah, I think Let's try. We have to try. They're our stream team buddies. We have to try. Hopefully they'll still be going and when we head over there. So everyone, stick around for that raid if you've got them. Let those phoenixes fly. But till next time, as we like to say around these parts, oyasumi nasai. Oyasumi.
Oyasumi.
Bye.